So my dad has a really cool story, and I'd never really heard it before. But when he was young, his dad passed away when he was just a boy, and then his mom was trying to make money. She had 4 kids, so they were kind of having to go to different places, and that was tough for him. And not only that, but my dad stuttered really bad, like to the point where you'd have to sit and be very patient and let him get it out. And so he stuttered. He was very short too, and he played basketball. So you can imagine there's this short man, he's trying to, kid, he's trying to play basketball, but he did really good. He started to excel in basketball. And I'm like, whoa. I remember going down in the basement and seeing all these trophies my dad won, and hearing stories of how he was such a good basketball player. And then I remember looking through his book, like his high school book, and it said that they wouldn't, don't call me shorty or I'll jump up and punch you. So he obviously had some spite, like a little bit of aggression there. He was very competitive. And as he grew up, he was living in different people's places. So that was a real challenge for him. And he had to overcome a lot of that, but he was able to be successful. Now, I will say he wasn't super successful in school, but he was successful in sports and a lot of other things he did. And then he got married, he started having kids, he started a business, and he built this big house for all his kids. He had 6 kids. And I remember hearing the story of some of his family members coming in and saying, "Stupid kid, why would you build this? This is stupid. What are you thinking, right?" And so he had so much challenges, so many people saying, like naysayers saying, "You know what, Patty, you're never gonna make anything of yourself." But he just kept overcoming obstacle after obstacle. And here's this man who stuttered like crazy, who, had come from essentially nothing, building a business, raising his kids. He was giving, he was generous, he was doing all these things for other people, and that was so inspiring. And when I started putting the pieces together as I got older and listening to the different pieces of his story and starting to put it together, it really inspired me, because I thought, man, here's this man that nobody really knows anything about, they haven't heard a story, and here he is doing incredible things. And so many people would say, "Oh, I love your dad, he's so amazing," and just feeling like, wow, like he has made such an impact in the community that he's in, and also with his kids and his grandkids and his in-laws and all of these people that he's impacted. But he's not a celebrity, he's not a politician, so we don't hear from people like that. So my idea for the podcast was I am sick of hearing, all these stories about the celebrities and politicians. Yeah, they have a story to tell, but we are not hearing the stories of everyday people who are doing amazing things, making such a positive impact in their families, in their communities, and essentially in the world. And that's the stories that I want to hear. I want to learn from these people. And every time I do an interview, every time I do an episode, and I hear the stories of these people, these everyday heroes, I'm just completely floored, and I learn so much from them. So maybe you're wondering, what is she talking about? I'm talking about my podcast, The Carla Rand Show. And you can see this podcast on Facebook. Every Monday morning, 7:15 a.m., I put it on my Carla Rand Facebook page, my personal profile page. And I love the comments that I'm getting there. It's so neat how it's resonating with people. Listen to it on Spotify, listen to it on Apple Podcasts, listen to it on Google Podcasts and all your main podcast platforms. It's also on YouTube if you want to watch it there. And I love the comments that I'm getting on there as well. So thank you so much. I just want to say such a big thank you to everybody for their support. The comments I'm getting, the feedback I'm getting, the reviews I'm getting, I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much for tuning in to my podcast.
I just want to call my friends and see what they're doing tonight. It doesn't have to be so special. I try to be myself, do the same and we'll be alright.
Okay, that's pretty good.